Hey everyone, well today we have a brand new airplane to unbox. Unfortunately, I've been sitting on this one for way too long. I pre-ordered this guy way back in like October. I think I received it sometime in December, but unfortunately, when you're enrolled in the graduate classes, you don't get a lot of time to unbox your RC planes. So, what do we have today? The A-10. Yeah, that's right. Horizon Hobby came out with a UMX A-10, and for a lot of us, the A-10 is one of our favorite airplanes. I don't know, I really don't know why, other than just the fact that it's ugly, it's mean, and it's pretty damn effective at what it does. So this has kind of got a special place in my heart and a lot of enthusiasts as well. And we were all really excited when Horizon Hobby decided to come out with a UMX A-10. There are a number of A-10s out on the market. They're all very large, they're pretty powerful. Something that are maybe a little bit too intimidating for me. So, I've never had an EDF before, so this is my first one. It's going to be a while before I work up the confidence to go fly it, but I had to have it, at least put it on the shelf and look at it for now. So, enough about that. Let's go ahead and get this thing unboxed, shall we? Alright, as usual with everything UMX by Horizon Hobby, they've done an amazing job of building the box into a carrying case and securing the airplane safely in it. So you can see there, this is how she sits inside the box, and of course it's fully assembled, which means if you are more confident than I am on your flying skills, you can run down to your hobby shop or order from Horizon Hobby or any online retailer, get the thing home, open it up, and go fly it. So that's one of the amazing things about the UMX birds. They're ready to go right away. So let's go ahead and remove the foam that holds it in the box, and let's get this guy out. As usual, the instruction sheets for the aircraft are located in the bottom. You can see them through this little window here. There's also some Velcro here for the battery. Alright, well here is the UMX A-10. The airplane is beautiful in person. It really, really is. I knew what it looked like a little bit, you know, from the pictures online, but when you actually get it and you see it, it's really impressive. The airplane is just beautiful in person. The details are pretty good on it. Panel lines look right. The only thing I've done to it is I painted the Avenger cannon gunmetal, and I painted the exhaust area here with Tamiya jet exhaust. These are normally white on the inside. I painted them a little bit darker with the jet exhaust to make it a little bit more realistic. But otherwise, this is exactly as the aircraft will come from Horizon Hobby. It has a landing gear already installed on it. A few people have commented on how weak the front landing gear is. I'm not going to fly it with landing gear. I'm actually going to remove it and use it as a belly lander and hand launching. It also has a, you look underneath here, it has a NACA duct and a rear exiting vent here, so you do get a good amount of airflow that comes through, cools the electronics in the battery, then exits out the back. Once again, everything looks pretty good on the bottom. There aren't any pylons for or hard points for munitions, so that looks a little funny to me when you have an aircraft like the A-10. It doesn't even have the pylons, it doesn't have anything hanging underneath of it. There are guys on the RC Group's website that are putting weapons on the bottom of their A-10. They're using 1/32 scale plastic model weapons and or 3D printing them themselves. So you're seeing Maverick missiles and Sidewinders and things like that being added on here, as well as laser guided bombs. The aircraft looks even meaner when you add all those munitions on it. But I haven't figured out a good way to do that myself, and I probably won't do that before I fly it, just out of fear of well, I've never flown an EDF before, so I don't want to hang too much stuff on it. Anyway, looking at the top, it's kind of the rare Arctic paint scheme. I think they call this the flipper scheme. It was only used for a few years in, I believe, the 1990s. It's my least favorite paint scheme. I don't like it at all. I prefer the woodland camo that was used in Europe, or the gray that is used today. However, the more I think about it, there may be some reasoning why this flipper scheme is so popular on the A-10 models. And that is, camouflage is designed to do one thing, to camouflage the aircraft, to confuse the enemy on its direction, its orientation, and make it harder to spot. that is a very dangerous combination for an RC pilot. We have to rely on visibility from the ground to determine what the aircraft is doing, where it's orientated, where it's going. So I'm afraid if this was the solid gray, or shades of gray that it actually is, a couple different shades that they use, and there is not a lot of definition on the aircraft, I think it's going to be very difficult to identify its orientation. The same with the woodland green. I fly on a field that is coated by trees, and I'm afraid if I flew this with the woodland green camouflage, it would be very difficult to spot. So I'm actually going to leave the flipper scheme for a while here until I become comfortable flying with the aircraft. Then I may actually go through and paint this and add some different graphics from Cali Graphics on it. But for now, I'm going to fly it just as it came in off the box, except for I'm going to go ahead and remove the landing gear, which are really easy. They just snap in and out, just like they do on a lot of the other UMX birds. One modification, if you are going to use this as a belly lander, everybody knows that the A-10 wheels do not fully retract into the nacelles here. They actually are a little exposed. So if you're never going to fly this thing off the ground, then you can go ahead and cut the wheels in half and glue them up here so they look more like a real A-10, or just go buy a second set. I don't think they're very expensive. Then you can just go ahead and stick those here. A lot of guys use magnets to hold them there so they can switch back and forth. I'll probably just cut them off and glue them. So anyway, that's a little bit things you can do to make it more realistic. Okay, let's take a look at where the battery goes, because this one got me at first too. All right, so it's a magnetic hatch, but the tab here is on the back side, so it actually removes from the front to the rear, which is different than it is on a couple of my other planes, so it threw me there at first. So put that off to the side. Inside, nothing really special. You can see the nose wheel link here. It also has the battery connector, which is a JST connector. So keep an eye on that, because that's not normal for what Horizon Hobby uses on their UMX birds. They're EC type connectors. So you'll need a battery that has a JST connector. This one I'm using is the Turnigy 800 milliamp 30C battery. This is what I'm going to give it a shot with first. A couple other things to warn you about that I've seen on the RC groups, because they've been a lot more active on getting their bird in the air than I have. This nose section here is very weak. If you do get into an accident with it, it usually breaks somewhere here or here. So keep an eye on that. I've actually wrapped a little bit of packaging tape around this section here where it's thin to help kind of protect the nose, but I haven't been able to do anything here quite yet. A lot of guys are gluing carbon fiber rods in here, or they're waiting till it crashes and then putting the carbon fiber rods in. So be very careful with this forward section here. As you can see, it's fairly long in length. The foam is very thin, and it does not going to take much to break the nose of this thing off if you guys get in trouble with it. So another reason why I'm going to be holding off until my skills improve a little bit more before putting this guy in the air. But anyway, that is it for the A-10, which I'm really excited about, because it's one of my favorite planes. When I first got into the hobby, I've really always wanted, from an EDF type aircraft, an A-10 and an F-14 Tomcat. Those are two of my all-time favorite aircraft that are, kind of post-World War II. And now I have my A-10. Now, hopefully Horizon's going to come out with a UMX F-14, then I'll have all the EDF birds I could probably ever want. So anyway, thanks again, guys. Subscribe to the BRGT350 YouTube page, and check out RC groups for their outstanding threads on the Horizon Hobby A-10.